for Sen. The field glow up from the young team, and Sen City is headed to Masters Toronto.
So Bangkok didn't really go how we wanted it to.
No coverage.
It was a really nice reality check for us. You know, bombing out sucks, but I think it was very important for us. In Toronto, I mean, you can obviously expect us to win. I think we'll definitely have a very good chance.
I think Toronto is going to be another absolute cinema.
I think we're a much better team. I think we've worked very, very hard.
I hope that as a team we can keep clicking.
For me, I don't really care who we play against. I just want to show the best version of ourselves.
2025 started off kind of weird for Sentinels. After the 2024 season, we had lost two of the greatest of all time, Tens and Saucy. We had brought in Narrate and Bang to fill those large shoes, and things were looking pretty good. We launched the best looking mouse in the world with our friends at Razer. We hosted the Tarek Ludwig event as well as our own tournament, the Sen City Classic. We then fly out to Korea to defend our title of Soup Valorant League champions, only to bomb out in the group stage. So with these highs and lows, you can see why things were a little weird. But after a short holiday break, the guys got back to Los Angeles and started grinding for the fast approaching Kickoff tournament.
We came back rested and ready to really start grinding before kickoff, and for the next month and a half, it was just 5 or 6 days a week of scrims, just going for as many hours as we could a day, just fully grinding to, you know, work out the last few kinks in our gameplay.
We were testing things out with the roles on the team. Offseason's obviously the perfect time for that.
I think off-season people expect teams to like win everything. And like obviously as a competitor you want to win everything, but like off-season is genuinely meant for team chemistry, meant for, you know, to figure out your roles, gel together, bond together, whatever the case may be.
The goal was just to kind of get some reps together and like identify our flaws as a team and players.
I feel like the offseason kind of changed our perspective and like helped us just find who we are and who our identity is as a team.
And it looked like that grinding paid off. We kick off our season by beating 100 Thieves, like we always do, then go to beat Loud 2-1 in a tight series. In the upper bracket final, we fall to G2 in a series that honestly looked pretty bad. We then have to take on MIBR in the lower bracket final, where we smash them 3-1. Now, in the grand finals, we have to take on G2 again. Everyone expected another thrashing, but we managed to put up a great fight, almost stealing the series 3-0, but ultimately we lost 3-2. Still, we showed that we can hang with the best teams in Americas and earned our spot in the first Masters event of the year, VCT Masters Bangkok.
Going into kickoff, we definitely stepped up from the off-season. We were working really hard on our match composure, our stage energy, and that was still a very bumpy ride. But a couple big things that helped us look cleaner in kickoff. We swapped roles. We put Narrate on Initiator Agents and off Sentinel, and put Zelsis onto Sentinel. Zelsis already had proved himself as a Sentinel player in the past, and Narrate proved to be much more comfortable on the Initiator role.
That tournament was mostly about the Teo meta that had just been thrust onto the game. The agent got released right before, and everyone was scrambling to kind of figure out what the meta was right before the tournament. I think us and G2 just had a solid grasp of it before everyone else did.
It was day one. We practiced against Seho and he was like, damn, he is OP. We need to scrap every comp. We have 9 days. We need to redo all our comp on all the maps.
It was also a chance for us strategically to flex our chops, especially having Gunter come in. We caught on to the Teo meta really quick. I think we had an early start compared to other teams and capitalized on that a lot throughout our matches. And John also did a really good job. He picked up the agent very quickly and just played it across the whole map pool pretty much. Looked great right out the gates.
It was fun and a bit like stressful because you don't have room for error. Like you need to nail it the first time because obviously you don't have much time. So thankfully we nailed it the first time and I got pretty comfortable using him.
Gratefully, we also got a first round bye in kickoff because we made top 4 at champs. Shout out that.
As long as we won like 2 games, we were in like a really good spot to qualify, and then, you know, we qualified.
The boys were hyped to fly to the other side of the world, experience the culture, show off our sick new jerseys, and hopefully replicate our success from last year's first Masters event, Madrid. As soon as the guys touched down, they got to grinding. If you watched our vlog, you know that so much of the trip was spent in the practice room scrimming the best teams from around the world. But when game day rolled around, disaster struck. There's no easy way to say it. We ate shit.
Hold the plants! Hold the fuck! What the fuck? What? Bro!
With such a disappointing performance, all we could do is pack our bags, fly back to LA, and look to the future, stage 1. But hey, at least we look good in our Bangkok jerseys, right?
So Bangkok didn't really go how we wanted it to.
I think it showed us that we still had a lot more progress to make and a long way to go, even though we had been working hard for the last few months and trying our best.
One thing we have with this team is a very hard-working team, but with that we can be really hard on ourselves and sometimes work a little too hard.
I genuinely believe, I think we just all wanted to win so badly that we kind of forgot that we're playing a video game for a living. Like, we didn't enjoy Bangkok at all.
We were not having a fun time playing the game. I feel like we were hypercritical of ourselves and each other, and it wasn't like very healthy for us, and we were treating it like a job and not like a video game that we play for fun.
After we ended up getting smashed in Bangkok, we kind of had that discussion of like, okay, we need to calm down, we need to be patient, we need to have fun, we need to, enjoy each other, enjoy the time we have outside of the game more together, rather than just kind of like playing.
Overall, I don't think we played like ourselves at all, really. Like, we didn't kick off even.
I mean, I don't think we played terrible, but we definitely had like some maps where we were just like completely awful, but it was kind of like the same thing in like Kickoff and in the offseason.
I think everyone was playing below the standards, like our team play was really bad.
As a group, we just had a very, very poor showing in that tournament, and I think we really needed it. Like, I think even if we were able to go on a run in that tournament, we needed to take a hard loss to realize that we needed to get better. So I do think, bombing out sucks, but I think it was very important for us.
While we tried to move on, the Valorant community would not let us.
They looked bad. So Sentinels looked genuinely pretty bad, I would say. There were very few good signs from the team.
Every podcast, Reddit post, Twitter thread, everyone was chirping, Sentinels are over. They're nothing without Tens and Saucy. This new squad just isn't it. For most teams, they would crumble under the pressure, but not Sentinels. We love this shit. We live to shut up the haters, and that's just what we did, largely thanks to a new philosophy from our head coach Kaplan.
So at the end of the day, like, you always want your team to be loose on stage, right? We prepare and scrim. We play over 20 scrims a week. And if we go into matches and we're too tense and too stressed, we're not going to make the same decisions we've been making in practice, and we're not going to play as well. And if we're not enjoying it and we're too focused on the win, that's going to affect our decision making as well. It's definitely a team motto to prioritize having fun. That's developed a little bit more. It's turned into having fun, but also make sure that we let things out quickly and move on.
Like this, at some point, like if you're gonna treat playing the game as like a job, like you're not gonna enjoy it and you're not gonna perform as well because you just don't care. There's like, oh, it's just a job, I'm just playing.
I wouldn't say we got put in a let's have fun era more than it was Kaplan trying to take the boys out of the depression from losing in the fashion that we did.
I think one of the things he figured out is we just need to be better at moving on and like not dwelling on mistakes that we made during the match.
It definitely did help us to kind of get out of that rut a bit. We were flowing better, shooting better, just having a good time on the stage, and I think it was nice to kind of have that sentiment going into the first split, especially after losing in the way we did.
And this new approach seemed to work wonders. So when stage 1 rolled around, nobody was surprised to see we were taking on 100 Thieves first. Since we knew we were going to stomp them, because we always do, we decided to celebrate by launching our new photo cards. Say what you want about the K-popification of Valorant, but you gotta admit these cards are a great idea. So after beating the shit out of 100 Thieves, including a devastating 13-1 on Split, Sen City could get their photo cards signed by the guys.
I felt pretty confident that we would make Toronto. Obviously, I thought a lot of teams would be a lot better by the time stage 1 rolled around. Like, I thought 100 Thieves would be a lot better, NRG would be pretty good, but it's surprised they kind of just weren't as good as we thought they would be. We definitely expected to come out, at least with, like, even with first seed, even though we didn't get it, we kind of expected to be like the best team in our group, besides for like 100 Thieves and Crew.
Like, I knew with this roster we would like at least qualify to the internationals. There's like too much talent and like strategy and everything involved for us to like not be top 3 or top 2.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, I definitely thought we would make Toronto. I think, I do think we had like our issues and I had my doubts, but I think even after Bangkok, I still believe that we were top 2, top 3 in the region, along with G2 and maybe like MIBR or throw another random team in there. I definitely think we still had it, yeah.
Like I said before, like the Bangkok was a big reality check for us, so I just wanted to slowly and continuously improve and just see us taking the right steps as we played week to week. I wasn't really thinking too much about Toronto when we first started the stage.
After 100 Thieves, we had to go face off against Crew, who handed us a quick 2-0, our only loss in the group stage.
The Crew game, I mean, we did get owned for sure. I can admit that. But I think they just played like above their like level. I think Crew has like, they have like a gear shift between like 1 and 4. They could just randomly at any point in time just shift to a 4 and just be like the best team in the world. And then the same week or the next week, they shift back to like a 1.
They were just on fire. Like Kesnet was really good, Mizzino was unreal. And I think that kind of like propelled them to win the game. We had like a bunch of really good rounds, but then like we just got shut down by like Mizzino.
Yeah, playing against a team like Crew, it's difficult when they're like feeling it and have the momentum going. They play really, really well. And yeah, we just fumbled like key rounds, and then, you know, especially in that meta with Teho and Euro, it gets very snowbally and it was difficult to recoup.
We regroup after the loss, focus up, and clean up the rest of the group 2-0ing EG, 2-1, Loud, and finally 2-0 versus 2G. We were locked into playoffs as the second seed from Group Alpha, meaning our first game would be versus our old friends at Cloud9. Before the game, things were looking kinda scary. C9 had a great stage 1, only losing 2 very close games to G2 and MIBR, easily 2 of the strongest teams in the world, much less the region. But then again, Cloud9 had a reputation for choking during playoffs, and you know some things just never change. We smacked C9 down with a quick 2-0. The games were great. Zelsis talked shit, the boys were feeling it, and we were one step closer to booking our trip to Toronto.
Bang with the ace! Bang with the Red Bull clutch!
So for the first game of playoffs, we went up against C9. In the group stage, they went, I believe, 4-1, and they just looked very solid, very confident.
They were looking very strong, especially with like Vic playing really well, Oxy playing really well. Their team seemed to be like having like really good cohesion during the stage, and we definitely expected like a lot harsher of a game, but when we played them, we kind of just dominated them.
So the first map I felt like was a bit close, but we obviously ended up winning. But the second map, I felt like we had it in the bag. We had the match, the series in the bag. We were just kind of losing rounds, letting them snowball a bit, but me and Zach won a 2v4 Thrifty. That felt like we just finally got a break, and we just were able to snowball after that round. It was like a huge round for us, and we won the game off of it, so it was a good feeling.
Well, Cloud9 in playoffs doesn't mean anything. That team is just regular season merchants. They'll never do anything in playoffs.
Our C9 chokers in playoffs? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but I also think they were just clearly in a spot where they were growing a lot throughout the regular split. And when you're seeing so much growth and momentum build throughout a regular split, it's awesome to see, but it's also kind of hard to sustain that and not have it catch up to you by the time you get to playoffs. They're definitely a team I'll be, expecting to be pretty darn strong going into split 2.
But we still had one game to play versus G2, the strongest team in the Americas. The pressure was on, and with only one day to prepare, the boys knew we had to lock it in. When game day rolled around, everyone could feel it in the air. Sen City had to back the boys if they were going to take down the final boss, blocking the road to Canada. Things started out pretty rough. We got wrecked on our map pick of Split. Things were looking dark. The last 2 maps of the series were on Icebox and Ascent, 2 of our weaker maps. But the boys wouldn't stand in the way of glory. We stormed onto Icebox, giving everything we had, and managed to eke out the win 13-11. Then came Ascent. We had an amazing first half, taking 10 rounds. Cap spelled it out for the guys in the timeout between halves.
Let's get it out of the way. We're up 10-2. It's fucking hype. We're railing these guys. They're fucked. Okay? There's only one win con and lose con at this point for both teams. It starts with a C. Somebody guess it.
Joke.
Composure. Oh. Just let them hand you the game here. Just keep your shit together. Literally all you guys have to do is just keep your shit together. And it actually is physical. Remember to breathe. Keep your shit together. Stay composed. If it's easy, it's easy. If it's not, it's not. There's no fucking way in this level of stakes, if we can keep our shit together, we don't get 3 more fucking rounds in one half, okay?
And you know what? It was hard. It came down to the wire. With the game at 11-11, we managed to take the last 2 rounds, putting G2 in the dirt and earning a spot in Masters Toronto.
Playing G2 in winners finals was a lot of fun. Got our first win over them, and just felt really good. It was a very, very close 2-1 match.
First map we got smoked, I'm pretty sure, on Split. and then we ended up coming back the next 2 maps. I think third map was Ascent. We were up 11-2. They ended up coming back, and it was very close. I almost had a heart attack, I can't lie.
We couldn't close out rounds and we couldn't find ways into their defense.
But we bounced back in the middle of the series while down a map, made plays when we needed to, followed game plans. Really proud of the way we turned that series around, and it felt really good. It felt really sweet to have a huge confident run, to slip up and then bounce back in a really big series against a big opponent. After that game, we really felt like what you want to feel as a team. Like, okay, we can beat anyone. We can do anything. We can go win the whole darn tournament in Toronto.
But that wasn't the end of playoffs. We still had to take on MIBR in the upper bracket final. They have the GOAT Aspas as well as a new protege, Verno, and have been absolutely tearing up their side of the bracket. When game day rolled around, the boys had to lock in, put aside their friendship, and get back to business. And get back to business, they did. They took down the Brazilian powerhouse in a quick 2-0, with Zekken putting on an astonishing performance, going 49-27-9, with 12 first bloods. With a showing like that, even Aspas was powerless to stop the Sen train from rolling on through to the grand finals, where we'd meet up with our nemesis, G2. Honestly, fuck G2. The grand finals were a hard-fought battle going 4 maps, and even though the games were close, ultimately it didn't go our way. From Zekken's insane aces to Bang's clutch sight holds, everyone on Sen having moments to shine. But despite the insane individual performances from the boys, we couldn't take down Valen and his impeccable read on the game.
I think against G2, the final was a lot closer than it looks. I mean, for us especially, we think that even though the series was 3-1 and the scores were a little bit more detrimental than the last final, I think this final we were definitely better.
I think we were playing solid, but not at our best. I think as individuals we were shooting, but we still made mistakes that they were able to punish and didn't do all of the correct things that we should have.
I agree that we were playing individually well, but I feel like we were, as a team, making mistakes that were not normal. Like, I felt like we were antsy, we were like panicking, we were stressed.
We had a really nice start on Haven, but the team atmosphere definitely tanked throughout that map in a way that, for the most part, we've worked past already as a team. A bit of regression for a high stakes game. It was very upsetting at the time, but those things are natural. And at the end of the day, we just dropped the first 2 maps in that BO5 when we really weren't supposed to.
Yeah, we had a good start on Haven, and then we threw around, and then we went on defense half, and we played like really poorly. It was really bad that we dropped the first map, and then we go into split. We kind of do like the same mistakes and fumble.
Like on Pro, we were just kind of like dominating them, right? Like we had a really good game, and then again, it was like the same where we just like throw away the big lead, and then on Ascent, it was just kind of, Ascent was definitely a harder map for us to win, just because G2 are a very good Ascent team. And like when we beat them the first time, we just had a really good defense side, and then this time we played them, we didn't have like as good of a defense side, so we definitely had to make up a lot on attack, and unfortunately like that map on attack is very difficult.
When I look back at why we lost that series, I think it's not grabbing at least one of the first 2 maps.
And that was the end of our Stage 1 run. You are fully caught up until Masters Toronto. It seems like a bit of a bummer to not get the trophy after such a hard road to finals, but there is a bright side. We've earned a spot in Toronto as the 2nd seed from the Americas. The boys have a month to prepare before flying out to the Great White North, and we now have a fire in our bellies, eager to get that first trophy for Bang and Narrate in their new Sen hockey jerseys.
In Toronto, I mean, you can obviously expect us to win. I'm not saying we're going to win the whole tournament, but I think we'll definitely have a very good chance.
I think we're a much better team. I think we've worked very, very hard coming from Bangkok, from where we were to now, and I think we're looking to keep elevating ourselves as a team.
Yeah, I mean, anything will be better from what we showed from Bangkok, but we definitely want to go into a deep playoff run.
I hope that as a team we can keep clicking and, you know, keep working together, making good plans together, and just having a solid macro to, you know, outplay and out-fundamental our opponents. Goal for Toronto is to win a game. That would be nice. Secondary goal, win the tournament. That would also be nice, but we're just going to do our best.
As long as we fix the mistakes that we made, I feel like we'll be perfect, and I feel like we'll be good enough, and I feel like we have definitely the ability to win.
I think we'll show more consistency and form than we showed in Bangkok. I'm excited for people to see that.
Looking back at where we started this year with a rough offseason and then the massive disappointment of Bangkok, I think it's safe to say that the boys can be proud of this performance. The growth they've shown as a team and as individuals in such a short span of time is awe-inspiring. I think I speak for all of Sen City when I say I can't wait to see the damage this team can do in Toronto.